Hey there guys, we're taking a look at Valheim running on the AMD Ryzen 5 5500U. Now, the game is currently running at 1080p with the lowest in-game graphics settings. So pretty much have everything set to the lowest it will go, and I just loaded in here into this world with a friend, and we were just kind of messing around, but very quickly at the stock 15-watt TDP, it became very apparent that gaming like this was just really not going to be a possibility. The 1% lows that we're getting right now are very rough, and the averages that we're getting are struggling right now when we're not even really doing anything just to stay at 25 FPS. And you'll look at the frame times, they will just move around like crazy just from me panning around. So in general, it is a very rough experience, and I really just would not suggest playing this game, at least at these settings. You can always try to turn down the resolution, but as it stands here at the stock 1080p settings, it's really just not going to be doable. Of course, setting the TDP to 25 watts really did not seem to net us much of a gain whatsoever. Although our 1% lows are getting a lot closer to 20 now, our averages really did not improve much at all. And in general, just trying to move around in the world is already difficult enough. Actually trying to play the game is going to be even more difficult. And by the way, this is with the Vulkan API. This already gives better performance than even just going with the native settings. So really, in general, this is about as good as it's going to get in terms of the API choice. But really, it just seems like the 25 watt TDP is just not going to be enough to salvage this game here. Just in general, the experience of trying to play this with my friend was just very rough, very difficult. I really felt like I really couldn't participate too well within the game itself. It was just overall a very unpleasant experience. So I really, again, feel like at the 25 watt TDP, it's still just not enough to salvage this. We can, of course, raise things up to 30 to see if maybe that will actually make the experience at least somewhat bearable. And unfortunately, it really does not seem like the 30 watt TDP is going to do anything to salvage the overall experience that we're getting here. I guess that should really just be no surprise to anyone here. I don't really think that 5 watts of TDP was going to make that drastic of a difference here, especially since we already weren't even remotely close to getting a playable experience. In general, it's just really going to be just way too rough for you to try to play like this. You can, of course, also start to drop the resolution to see if that could improve the performance. Unfortunately, while testing that, I also came out of that disappointed. After just a bit of testing, we pretty much just decided to drop the resolution down to 720p. So this is the 720p internal render resolution. Everything set to low. We spawned in some giant trolls for us to fight, and in general, the experience was still just super rough. It is unfortunate that overall we're just getting such a bad experience trying to play this on this system, even at 720p. I was really hoping that 720p would be enough to salvage this, but it really just was not. This is not going to be an enjoyable experience in any way, shape, or form unless you're super dedicated to trying to play this. I just feel like in general, you're gonna have a pretty tough time getting anywhere near an enjoyable experience out of this. But this also isn't really the type of game that I enjoy playing too much, so already getting bad performance in this is going to make me just want to not play this. I know there's some people out there that actually play this game at this level of performance or even worse, so if that's you, then go right ahead. If this seems playable enough to you, then by all means, knock yourself out there. Personally, I didn't find it that enjoyable of an experience, but that might be different for you. You can at least see the numbers here, you can see the frame times, and you can see the 1% lows, and you can make your own conclusion out of that. But anyways, I hope you found this video useful. It's just a quick look at this game since it's one that I didn't really find to be that playable on here. I didn't really spend that much time playing it really, just because it was overall very difficult to even try to play. But it is just something for you to look at and actually determine for yourself whether or not this is going to be acceptable for you. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one.